Working with Christian McBride, Kurt Elling, and also Nicholas Payton, I love it because I feel sometimes like I'm an actor. Meaning, 1 minute I have to play, a role in a drama film, and the next minute I'm playing one in a comedy, or, or some other kind of genre. And I love it because I'm always switching back and forth. Because for me, I listen to so much music. I mean, man, you go to my house and you look at my collection, you'll find some of everything. So I'm not just happy playing with one artist. And so working with Kurt is great because the focus with Kurt is to make great music, but the thing about working with him is you make a great show. So when people come see Kurt Elling, they're coming to hear this amazing voice, but then also they're coming to hear all these amazing musical textures that he and Lawrence Hobgood have put together through the years, and they have a really great way of taking stuff that we've heard for years and adding their own thing to it. So I'm sort of being just a part of this beautiful picture that they already create. Whereas with Christian McBride, this is a person that people know are synonymous with, virtuosity on his instrument. Nobody can really do what this man does on that instrument. So when I play with his group Inside Straight or his other groups, it's really about tapping into that level of creativity, which is very challenging. It's unbelievable. And then with Nicholas, it's a completely different thing because he's also a virtuoso writer as well as instrumentalist. But then it's more of like riding this wave. When I play with him, I feel like, especially small group, it's the closest I may ever get to playing with Miles in the 60s, because literally he goes up on stage, he starts playing, he doesn't say anything, and we go on this ride until the 75 or 90-minute concert. So it's very amazing because it satisfies three different parts of my personality. Some of my very early influences was gospel. I'm a big fusion head. I love Dave Welko. I love, Dennis Chambers. The Yellow Jackets, still to this day, one of my favorite groups. But then, man, I've really been getting into a lot of world music. I love Miriam Makeba, Celia Cruz. There's this amazing singer. Her name is Conka Buika. She's amazing, man. She's really great. So I'm always listening to world music, again, jazz. I love classical music, And one of the things that's very key that I love is vocal music. I'm very inspired actually by vocalists. Sometimes you will find in my collection, I probably have just as many vocalists, if not more, than I do drummers. Because there's something about the lyric and something about the way that a vocalist delivers something that I like to add to my playing. There's a certain touch and a certain sense that I like to have beyond just the rhythm. So yeah, man, I love everybody. I mean, of course the list of drummers is endless, and of course, the beginning, like Louis Armstrong and Ella, and just everyone. I mean, I'm always open to new stuff as well. My first official project was Matthew Ribicki, and his record is titled Driven. It just was released in February of this year. It's amazing. It's featuring Gerald Clayton on piano, Freddie Hendrix on trumpet, Ron Blake on saxophones, Michael Dees trombones, and myself, also a really great percussionist, Matt Barinello. And then also we have a guest spot by a really great vocalist from The Lion King. Her name is Selawani. One of the people I've admired, and I didn't get a chance to talk about him, was Wynton Marsalis. You start out your life, and all of us sort of say, if I could ever achieve this, or if I could sort of make this mark, you find a person that sort of exudes that or exemplifies that. And for me, it's Wynton Marsalis. He is sort of the great combination of a musical genius. He's also has some amazing educational things he's doing. And then he's, to me now, really becoming an activist for arts. So I feel like everybody can benefit from his agendas. So saying that to say I was just called to do some subbing with him. So I'm looking forward to that. I have more stuff coming up with Nicholas, Kurt, and Christian. I also have a record that I'm doing, finally, my own sequel project. So I have that coming up, and a couple other things in the production. As a producer, that's the funny thing now. You always have like one or two records that you're working on, and then you always have like 5 or 6 that you really want to do. I have a collaboration project for my nonprofit I'm working on as well. So it's, I probably have about 5 to 6 other things that I'm trying to work on. I have a great trio record I'm working on, so it's always, as an artist, you have to stay busy, and you have to stay or I should say, you have to keep your motors running. You can't ever rest on your laurels. I once heard Benny Golson say, the minute that you sort of feel you arrived, you have to hang it up. And for me, I don't plan on ever stopping. So I always have a bunch of stuff happening. So my first time at Tanglewood was with two performances on the same stage. It was Seiji Ozawa Hall, and it was opening with the Lawrence Hopgood Trio, and then the second part of the show was with Kurt Elling Quartet. So it was unbelievable experience, and that's why for me Tanglewood coming back with my own group is really going to be special, just because the atmosphere and the environment is very inspiring to me, visually as well as artistically. And more than anything, what I love about Tanglewood is it has, or it seems to have, based on my sort of minimal knowledge of it, a built-in audience of listeners and people who just love what's coming to that particular venue. So yeah, I'm extremely excited and honored to be a part of it. Man, that venue was so amazing, and it's so breathtaking. It was hard for me to play because, you know, I've never played in a venue, and I'm not just saying that because, you know, I'm doing this for Tanglewood, but I've never played in a venue that was equally as inspiring as the music and the experience. I know I'm not playing, or fortunate to play in the Seiji Ozawa Hall this year, but man, opening up with Lawrence and then playing with Kurt and seeing all those people who were so into what you're doing, that was amazing. So Tanglewood, saying all that to say, Tanglewood will still feel new to me again. You know, I'm actually writing some new things for it, but I'm bringing my group, the UO Project, which consists of Alicia Olatujo on vocals. It's going to be Sullivan Fortner on piano, Tim Green on saxophones, and Matthew Ribicki is actually going to be joining on bass. And we're going to be playing things off of my debut album, It's Time for You. So we'll be doing probably about 4 or 5 songs off of that album, but then I'm going to write, you know, a couple things. And then the cool thing about your project is just about everybody in that band, they're leaders in their own right. So I'm probably going to feature, you know, 1 or 2 tunes from a couple of the band members. So I think it's going to be a fun night. You know, everybody's excited. We're going to come there, you know, energized and ready to really make some great music and, you know, expose people to sort of the next generation, I believe, of jazz listeners. And that's why I'm so thankful to you and to many others, to the Tanglewood staff or the Boston Symphony Orchestra, because, you know, it's very easy, I would imagine, to continue to hire the Wynton Marsalises and the Kurt Ellings, but it's really amazing that you guys are giving us a chance to make our own statement. So I'm very grateful.